Okay, so I'm going to do now, I'm going to run this measuring laser from this post here to that post. So give me a rough. So give me a rough measurement. We'll lock it in when we hit that post or that marker. Oh. We'll do it again. Okay, so we have 14 feet 2 inches and 15/16. So 14 feet and pretty much 3 inches. Okay, so we have 2 up. We'll put concrete in this one. I just want to make sure our supports are down on both. This one's pretty much done. That's going to be our truth. And looks like we're right on here. Okay, so I have the laser on. I need to come over just a tiny bit, even though the level says it. Okay, so we have all 4 posts in. These 2 temporarily. Right now we just have half concrete because we're still maneuvering these, making sure these line up. These 2 permanent ones on the side. Make sure we have the half flaps lined up. We're using a laser. You can see the red laser better at night. So right now we're just getting these measurements here from here to here. We're using a laser and also tape measure, just double check. And they're lining up from here to here, and then there to there, and make sure everything's nice and square. We have the half flaps we're going to use for the inside braces that we're going to screw 2 on the other end. We're going to draw out with Alright, so let's make sure we're still maneuvering these guys, make sure they're nice and level. So far, so good. Alright, so these are good. So like I said, these are permanent. We're going to use some carriage bolts to screw in the inside brace and the outside brace on the half flaps. So we'll drill them out with an auger bit. So that's where we're at now, so we're getting there. So I'll have these done hopefully, and then tonight let these dry. I think they're good now, so I'm going to start filling the rest of the concrete up in these holes, just making sure everything's good in case I also tie the string from post to post, just make sure it's somewhat level. I know it's not a perfect method, but so I have this one up, 104 inches, bust up against the garage. Let's see this level. Alright. We're going to throw a couple screws in here just to hold it temporarily. See the laser. It's pretty much center on the line. I don't know if I like this red laser. I might have to get a green one, especially for outdoor stuff. The red's not as good, but it's good. So we're nice and level. Just gonna run a line to there, around the edge. Okay, so I have these little temporary braces in for the outside braces. All 4 sides there. I'm gonna let the concrete dry on this side overnight. And then we'll do the cross beams. All right, let's go. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to measure out to the center of this post here, or like the edge of it actually, and I'm going to run a laser, you can barely see it, and that will be our first marking for our first board going across our slat, and then we're going to do every 12 inches or so. We're calculating. I just want to lay out, it looks good, so that's what we're doing here. So we're just going to mark it and then go down the other end and then see if we can find it. Do our math to get. Okay, so my math is going to turn out to be 10 inches spaces in between each one. I'm using this block here as our template. I'm just marking it. That'll be our 10-inch spot. We'll use a laser. So let's go right down the line here. Just marking them. Then we'll use a laser line up the other side. Give us an idea of what we need to lay out here. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we'll have 9 slats going across. Okay, here's where the laser is really worth its weight in gold here. So I'm not sure if you see this. Zoom in. There's the first board. It's not completely centered. I don't think I'm centered here, but it's close enough where I know that's going to be our second board. Even though I have one mark there, we got to change that. And then we'll go right down the line. So we'll use this 10-inch spacer. Then we'll use this as our marking. Label this number 4. Go right down the line. Marking. I just temporary line up there. Then we're going to get our spacer, get them all spaced out, and then we'll start screwing in to the top. Okay, let's move this over. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pre-drill these where I've marked out my space. I have my overhang spacer here. And then I have my other spacer. I'm just going to space out each one of these top slats. So I'm just going to pre-drill these with a countersink and then a Forstner bit. And then we're going to throw some 3.5 inch deck screws in to hold these in place, and we're going to clamp it. All right, let's go. Okay, so now we're going to take our second board. We're going to bring it down to our spacer here. Then we're going to take our overhang spacer, bring it out. There. And push it back to the spacer. It's our 11-inch spacer, and I have it marked here. Overhang spacer, and then our slat spacer, 11-inch. Okay, so now we're going to take our Okay, so these are all in, all four sides. It's a little more work than I thought it was going to be. Drilling through was pretty tough. Put all four in. Our top slats around. I'm going to put some more screws in up top, make them stronger, and then we're going to put our angle braces in here. Let's go about 24. Okay, so this is pretty much mostly done. I got to do a little more sanding, get some of these pencil marks. I got a clamp on this one 2x4 here. Yeah, it's a little bowed out, so I'm just kind of clamping it a little bit. I don't want to put too much pressure because I don't want to bend the other one. So pretty much everything's done. So next, we're going to put some little decorative trim around the bottom here. Going to come about 30 inches, and we're going to come around, kind of make this a little thicker, and then we're going to put a little like a decorative detail on the bottom and top. Bottom I'm not going to do right away because we're going to do more work out here. We're going to put some like tarp down and some rocks, so we'll put that on after. We'll just like brad nail that in, little design, but top we'll put like a little lip here, and then this side will have 4 pieces around the side, and we'll start cutting them up now. All right, let's go. Here we're going to do a fold up, glue up with these miters. We're going to try to fold everything, put the glue in the joint. We're going to do just 3 sides, and then we'll put the 4th side on. We'll go around the post and just glue and brad nail that in. This is outdoor, so that has to be perfect, but I want this fold to hold if possible. This glue's, or this tape's not the best. I used to have a nice little tape. I don't know if I have it anymore. Sure these are all straight, and what they are, it's perfect. I'm trying to do too much woodworking in this video since I wanted to keep it more just basic carpentry, but you know, I think this is the best way to do this. Just bolts here. And we're going to do 3 more after this. Like I said, this is called a fold up, glue up here. clamps on. All right, we'll let this sit overnight. We'll do 3 more. That's pretty perfect for what we're doing. All right, let's go. So it's these that are bare. We started that one, and then we got to do this last one still. Okay, so this project's pretty much done. All of the trim is done. I got to do some bottom trim, but we're gonna dig this out and put some rocks and dirt and some barrier, weed barrier, and I'm going to tighten up some of these bottom posts. They're just more design, but otherwise everything's pretty much done. Okay, so a couple things that I wish I probably would have done different. One would have been I would have went with 4x4, or I'm sorry, 6x6 posts rather than 4x4. Even though the 4x4 looks pretty good with the bottom detail, but 6x6 would have been better due to the way I have this joints. I have a half lap here. If I had 6x6, I would have had 2 half laps rather than screw it right into the side of the 4x4 post. And the reason why I did that, at first my wife only wanted 1 brace, but we ended up going with 2. I convinced her, or she then said she wanted to go with 2, but then that kind of changed the way the build was because I already had the post in. So that's one thing. Other thing, I probably would have went with cedar over pressure treated pine, but cedar's hard to get and it's pretty expensive here, but it definitely would have looked a little nicer. The other thing, I probably and I'm still going to debate, I still may do this, put some hurricane tie downs here, some L brackets on each one of these slats over top. The carriage bolts are pretty good, they'll probably be fine, but if not, then we'll put them in. We'll add a little more money. So everything all in was about $600. All the materials, some of the accessories, drill bits, concrete for the post, things like that. It was broken down in here. About $600. So it probably would have cost me $2,000 to $7,000 to have somebody do this for me. This is a 12 by 8 by about 10 feet high structure, and it came out pretty good. So that's a couple of things I like about it. I like the look of it. I love how the carriage bolts are holding real tight. I have no play at all. It's really sturdy. I use not only deck screws for these up top, but I also used some lag bolts. And then, like I said, we have the carriage bolts here with the nuts and washers to hold the top braces onto the post. So it feels pretty strong. I'm pretty pleased with it. You know, little details like this, I think, make it look a little nicer. And that's about it. So this project's done, and you can do this in probably about 3 to 4 days if you really buckle down. It took me about 6 days due to, you know, doing my regular job and doing this on my spare time as much as I could. So, and it's been really, really hot. It's been about 90 to 100 degrees here and real humid. So I really had to kind of, you know, pick my spots to work on this. So I might make some changes. I'm not sure. Like I said, I might add the L brackets for the braces up top, and we're going to stain this too. We're going to let it sit for a couple of weeks, let it dry over time, and then we'll stain it. All right. Well, that's about it. Thanks for watching.